Hey everybody, how's it going? Hope you're having a lovely day. Today I'd like to go over a piece of shit article that came out in the New Yorker. I don't know if this is paid advertising or just pretend journalism. Maybe it's just a little bit of both. And I think the thing that bothers me the most about this is that we live in an age with one of the great things about YouTube is it's one of the great equalizers, not like what they mentioned in this article. It allows the people that do really good work, that show other people how to do the work, that are open with their processes to rise to the top rather than simply who has the highest marketing budget or who is recommended by the manufacturer. And one of the things that I've always valued on this channel is that this is like the way of the world. I mean, you don't have to be certified by the manufacturer to do good work. You don't have to be authorized by the manufacturer. If you do good work and you're honest in what you do, you rise to the top. This is an article about a competitor of mine, and it's going to seem a little salty because I am talking about a competitor, but I want to make clear that what bothers me about this is not that they're talking about the competitor, it's that there's instead of me, is that they could be talking about any number of honest companies that I list on my own website that I think are awesome, and they're deciding to talk about the one that rips people off anyway. This article is from the New Yorker. When your digital life vanishes, a broken phone or corrupted drive means the loss of work, evidence, art, or the last traces of the dead. But sometimes data recovery experts can summon lost files from the void. Now, they're not talking about the industry in general. This entire ad is going to be slobbing on the knob of DriveSavers. And it's a company that I've talked about many times on my channel, and also my good friend and old co-worker, Jessa Jones, talked about on her channel. This company is known for doing things like charging people $2,800 for an iPhone screen that's bad on their phone. There are many customers of both of our businesses and many people in the industry that have sent devices to DriveSavers, and then they got quotes of $2,500 to $3,000. And then we get the device, and we use a dental pick or a toothpick to pick lint out of the charge port, and it works again. They have a policy, in my opinion, and I could be wrong here, but just based on the amount of times this has happened, where they call it data recovery, and regardless of what they had to do to recover the data, they have this fee, and you get charged the fee even if what they did to recover the data is replace the iPhone screen or remove the lint from your charge port. And in my opinion, that is highly, highly predatory and disgusting. Now, one of the things that I've gone over on my website for a long period of time is what you're actually paying for. So Google AdWords and a lot of the advertising campaigns that many companies run, whether it's affiliate marketing or Google AdWords, cost a lot of money. If you're paying $150 per click and 20% of your visitors convert, you're paying over $750 just to get your customer in the door. And when your customer acquisition cost approaches the $1,000, you don't have the ability or the luxury to be honest and tell somebody, yo, you have lint in your charge port here, like $100 or $200 just for the time that we took to look into it. You have to charge them that every single time. So I wanted to read through some of the things in this article that I found disgusting, and I really just I'll just be real with you. I just want to shame the New Yorker for just putting out this type of fluff piece, not for the people in the industry that are actually doing that type of honest work, but for the industry juggernaut that is milking their prestige and reputation on this $2 million clean room thing to just, in my opinion, rob people blind. There are, again, you could be going over iPad rehab. You could be going over desert data recovery, $300 data recovery, flashbacks, a bunch of people in the industry that are actually honest with their customers about what they're doing that don't have these practices. So let's go over the few lines in this article that make me sick. Visiting in January, I felt like I'd arrived in hard disk heaven. This is the bias right in the beginning of the article. You're not auditing the place that you're visiting. You're not doing a news investigation. You're in love with it before you've even asked a single question about how they do business. Hard disk heaven is not a place where if you get a $3,900 quote and you say, I don't know, they just lower it to $1,800 immediately. Hard disk heaven is a place where they have listed prices on their website so that you actually have an idea of what you're going to pay before you show up. That's not heaven. This is a way to figure out how to get as much money as humanly possible out of the customer by not having listed prices and then lowering it when somebody has even the slightest bit of doubt. That's disgusting. Celebrities. Sidney Poitier recovered a draft of his memoir through the company's good offices. Khloe Kardashian, a phone that fell into a pool. Data loss that's been the digital age's great equalizer. What else could bring together such disparate figures such as Willie Nelson, Buzz Aldrin, Gonzo the Muppet, and Gerald Ford? The great equalizer is the complete opposite of what's actually going on here. You know what the great equalizer is? Published pricing. Putting your prices on your website so that people actually know what it is they're going to pay and have an idea of what they're going to pay before they send something into you. Khloe Kardashian does not give a fuck if a phone recovery costs $3,000 for lint in her charge port. You know who does care about that? Somebody who's broke, a single dad, a college student, a senior citizen. These are the people that give a shit about this. The equalizer is a pricing page, not a referral commission, not celebrity portraits. DriveSavers retains a personal shopper in Shenzhen to track down elusive models. they're making you think that there's some sort of exotic expertise that goes into this. Like, people who work in this industry are not tracking down donor drives on eBay or from random donor drive websites. Every shop that does what we do sources donors, like Desert Data Recovery does, $300 Data Recovery does, HD Recovery Services does. We all do that. Like, having there's not some sort of personal shopper that one company has that's making them special. And that's not what you're paying for when you're paying for the recovery here. And then we get to the point where they mention me, not by name. Recovering data from an iPhone or a hard drive can set you back $3,000 from an enterprise server, 6 figures. Although DriveSavers has a no data, no charge policy for most customers, it gets accused of overcharging by scrappier competitors, who tend to attribute the company's success to attention-grabbing stunts. One rival has mocked DriveSavers engineers as clowns in spacesuits, alluding to the protective gear that they wear in ads. But Farrell insists that the fees reflect care and determination. She once spent a week recovering an iPad for an autistic child who was so attached to a farming simulator that he couldn't calm down without it. They still invite me to barbecue, she said. Number one, you don't use a fucking clean room to recover an iPad. You microsolder on an iPad. You could microsolder in the middle of a fucking war zone. Use a clean room when you are recovering a hard drive where you have heads that can be disturbed by dust, you piece of fucking shit. This continues to promote the bullshit myth that when you're paying $3,000 for somebody to remove lint from a fucking charge port, that is being done because you need a $2 million clean room to do it. Fuck you for continuing to perpetuate that myth from the reputation of what used to be a real newspaper. That makes me fucking sick. It's not a costume joke. It's a genuine documented business model of them ripping people off by claiming that their clean room makes them so much better when in reality they use that to charge $2,800 for a screen replacement on a fucking iPhone. They returned somebody's iPad with the fucking NAND soldered on upside down. Fuck your clean room. Yeah, I made that video and I made that webpage, and I'm proud that I did, where I use a P-Track particle counter that costs over $5,000 to show you in the bench that you get 0 fucking particles in a bench that you can buy for less than a big screen television. I called it marketing bullshit, and I said that that was clown crap, because that's what it is. Do you need a clean environment to recover hard drives? Absolutely. Do you need a $2 million clean room? Fuck no. Are they pretending that what you're paying for is a $2 million clean room when what you're actually paying for is marketing mystique? Yes. And does that fuck over real people? Yes, it does. Because when somebody who has a $2,800 bill for a fucking iPhone that has a bad screen says, I guess I'm not going to get back the pictures of my dead relatives, I trusted them because they have this prestige, I'm not even going to send it to somebody else, that person is losing out. More importantly, when that person figures out that that's what they were actually paying for, they are going to view the rest of the data recovery industry, the rest of the repair industry, as predators. The reason that people walk into our store and don't trust us, the reason that they have stress and aggravation and are vibrating with this feeling of, oh my God, am I getting fucked, is because they're used to people like this. And what the New Yorker did with this article is they legitimized it. Fuck you for that. Here's what pisses me off about all of this. The good guys don't get a tour from the New Yorker. When is Tim Homer at Desert Data Recovery going to get his tour from the New Yorker? When is $300 Data Recovery? When's Flashback Data or Flash Fixers? When's HD Recovery Services? When's iPad Rehab going to get that tour from you? When are any of the people that actually publish how they do their job, the people that publish their price list publicly, that actually do the same exact fucking work without the marketing bullshit, going to get that attention? When are they going to get their 10-page fluff piece about how you love them? I don't even give a shit if you ever use our company. Honestly, like, fuck Rossman Repair Group. Pretend they don't exist for a second. There are dozens of companies in our industry, hundreds across the world, that are honest with their customers, that don't replace a screen and have it in them to type in the invoice price, $2,800. And they didn't do it once. They do this all the time. I find it disgusting. You had the time and the effort and the resources to reach out to all of them. Instead, you reached out to DriveSavers. Makes me sick. I am passionate about this. And I was going to do a video on the live channel a while ago about what really got me excited about my business again. There was somebody that I was speaking to on the phone who had sent something there, and they weren't, they gave the ridiculous, crazy quote. They sent it here, and nobody here was able to figure it out. I came across this case while I was going through the recycling. I came across while I was going through the tickets of stuff that has been here past amount of time, which we usually say, okay, we haven't heard from in person, whatever. We call them and they say recycle it, and I looked through the ticket notes and I'm like, let me try this again. Because we actually got the data from the device. We got everything off of it. It's just the file was corrupted. And I spent 2 or 3 hours to try and figure out how to uncorrupt this fucking file. And we do. And after we uncorrupt it, it was an interview of somebody talking about their experience from World War I and World War II, who had passed away almost 20 years ago. And I called the person back about 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning after doing the work. and I have it on speakerphone, and I start playing it, and I said, does this sound familiar? And the woman just starts crying uncontrollably and just, thank you so much, what do I owe you? And she had actually lost her job from the time that we did that original data recovery and me making that call and everything. And I said, just send whatever you want. And that's what makes this fun. Like, the thing that makes this fun for me is not even repair. I'm not a repairman at heart. That's not what gets me going. What gets me going is solving problems that other people wouldn't have solved, solving puzzles, kicking bullies in the shins, and making people happy. And everybody who's worked in this industry has had one of those experiences before. Everybody who works in here has had that experience where you're up at 3 or 4 in the morning because you're invested in this one particular recovery for whatever reason, and when you get it done, somebody cries or gives you a hug when everybody else would have just fucked that person over. That's what makes this fun. And the idea that the people that just genuinely enjoy charging $2,800 for a fucking iPhone screen will have a reporter that talks about how people can agonize over the price or how scrappy your competitors are. Fuck you. I probably shouldn't upload this. I should edit this, but I'm going to upload it anyway because it pisses me off. I'll see you in the next video. Bye now.